Now at 9, the Pittsburgh YMCA is closed temporarily after a tragedy. We'll have details. Plus, some Joplin residents might be left with limited options to beat the heat. We'll tell you why. And why some owners of a Southwest Missouri drive-in theater are dedicating this movie season to their son.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Tragedy today at the Pittsburgh YMCA. Police say a man has died after he was found unresponsive in the YMCA pool before 8 a.m. Pittsburgh PD is not yet releasing the name of the victim. The Y says a lifeguard pulled the young man from the pool. YMCA personnel had already begun resuscitation efforts before first responders arrived. A crew rushed the patient to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Authorities are investigating but say there is no indication of foul play. Pittsburgh YMCA sent a statement to its members today that said in part, "Our entire Y family is deeply saddened by this situation. Our thoughts and prayers remain with this young man, his family and friends, as well as those who came to his aid." The statement from CEO Sarah Vaca goes on to say, quote, "Making sure all children and adults are safe in the pool is a top priority. We are conducting an internal review to learn the facts about what happened in this incident. We will use the findings of this review to ensure our water safety measures align with best in-class practices in order to prevent an incident like this from happening again." Only one community pool will be open in Joplin despite the city owning 3. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with the Parks and Rec director about summer plans for the community's pools.
People will compare other communities' pools, and you can't compare apples to apples. One pool, in particular, it only takes them 30 people to staff their pool.
Apologies for some technical problems with that report. We can tell you the city of Joplin is currently working on opening a splash pad in Ewart. Schifferdecker Pool will be closed this Saturday for a swim meet. Joplin police arrest a man they say stole a statue from outside the public library. Larry Hart of Joplin is now charged with felony stealing. He's accused of stealing a bronze statue of 2 small children reading a book. JPD says security camera video showed a man arrive outside the library, leave, and then return. That's when the man cut the statue from its ground mount with a saw. The man loaded the statue onto a dolly and wheeled it away. Tennessee man is sentenced for the murder of a teenager in Crawford County, Kansas. Brian Baker was accused of second-degree murder and possession of stolen property. He was sentenced almost 14 years in prison for a homicide in Pittsburgh in October of 2021. The victim, 8-year-old Jace Delish of Pittsburgh. Authorities say she was found dead in an apartment after a caller said they found the door open and saw her on the floor. Brian Baker will serve 36 months probation after his sentence. Joplin Health Department wants to remind you they operate a mosquito fogging program in the city. They say they use a pesticide that has a low toxicity to humans, and the fog usually dissipates within 15 minutes of application. Fogging will be conducted in the early morning hours to minimize exposure. People are encouraged to stay indoors and not drive through areas where fog is visible after application. Residents who do not wish for their property to be fogged can contact the health department. Fogging routes will be posted on the health department page of the Joplin website. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another pretty much hot one for us today. High temps right around 90 degrees. Once again, 89 officially. Normal high is 84. Record on this date is 94 degrees. So it's been hot over the past several days. We've had afternoon and evening thunderstorms. This trend has lasted several days now. Most of the storms tonight or this afternoon were on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. Not too much going on in southwestern parts of Missouri, and these have all pretty much dissipated. So we look good for the rest of the night. 76 Lamar, Anderson 75, 76 in Miami, 71 in Chanute as we go through the night. Drop back into lower 60s, back to 80 by 10 a.m. More thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that in a bit.
See you soon. It was a fruitful day for supporters of Alex's Lemonade Stand in Pittsburgh. Family response advocates and City Hall staff serve cold, fresh lemonade under the Pritchett Pavilion for a good cause. It's to help the foundation find the cure for children with cancer by raising $400, enough to support one day of research. More than 12 gallons of lemonade were served. Donators could also add their name to the gratitude wall and purchase raffle tickets for 2 chances to win a prize.
Hopefully there will be better solutions to the cancer that children have. Some of the treatments that they have for cancer right now in children are worse than the disease sometimes. So this will help.
If you didn't have the chance to grab yourself a lemonade at Alex's Lemonade stand this afternoon, you can still make donations. You can find more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. It's National Drive-In Movie Day, and the Barco Theater in Lamar is showing us just what that means to them. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has that story.
So it's the outside. So was it electrical?
For some, it may be hard to justify going to the movies. With the convenience of live streaming and the comfort of your own home, sitting in a dark theater may not seem that appealing. But for the Barco Theater in Lamar and its manager Scott Kelly, the drive-in is never short on customers.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, when you consider the size of the town and there's not very many drive-ins left. Every year the count dwindles. There's less than 300 apparently open now in the United States.
Scott got a job at the Plaza Theater in town as a teenager. He now manages the Plaza and the Barco Theaters. I met him at the Plaza, where he starts off the day tending to the needs of customers and employees.
Yes, yeah.
After the movie starts, it's time to head over to the drive-in and prep the evening feature. However, with less help than what he used to have.
Yeah, it's been tough, but he would want the show to go on, and we knew that from the get-go, so we really didn't miss hardly any showings because of that.
Scott has dedicated his life to the movies, and so did his son. Unfortunately, his son Zachary gave everything he had.
He started working for us at the theater when he was like 15, and loved working, and taking care of the kids, and different things. That he loved waiting on kids and different things. And he got real sick in December, and we lost him in 3 days. And so we just thought this way, he loved the theaters, and we thought this would be a neat thing to memorialize him for that. And he loved, waiting on customers, and he just loved doing it.
Reporting in Lamar, I'm Anthony Saviello.
The family is dedicating the 74th season of the Barco to the life of Zachary, a life dedicated, they say, to the love of movies and the love of community. Coming up, a concerning trend for youth and cancer.
A rapid rise in colon cancer among young people has medical experts scrambling for answers. I'm Mather Rivera in Washington with the latest data coming up.
Colon cancer is expected to be the #1 cause of cancer deaths among people between 20 and 49 by the end of the decade. Madeline Riviera reports from Washington with what experts are saying about this disturbing trend.
Medical experts are sounding the alarm over staggering data that shows more young people are getting diagnosed with colon cancer.
We have about 150,000 cases of colon cancer diagnosed every year, and about 20,000 of them are in those under the age of 50.
From 2011 to 2019, the rates grew by roughly 2% per year for people under 50 and those between 50 to 54 years old. The reason for the rise is still unknown, but medical experts are looking into several potential factors.
They found that there was a fungus called cladosporium, and they didn't see this in the older population, so they are also looking to see, does this fungus perhaps damage the DNA in the cells of your intestines?
Research from the Cleveland Clinic suggests red meat and sugar intake may be related to developing colorectal cancer at a younger age, so they're advising people to limit their consumption.
I would certainly say our data supports that. Additionally, we know that obesity for sure is a big risk factor for developing any cancer, including colorectal cancer.
I couldn't fathom what was taking place. I mean, I was really young.
Stacia Walker was diagnosed with colorectal cancer at 24 years old. She was able to beat the disease.
My son was like my biggest motivator to fight this. This past March has been my 10-year anniversary. So 10 years of remission. Go me.
And she hopes others can too by getting screened.
I caught it early at stage 2A. I was able to fight. My age was on my side. Early detection is key.
In a separate but positive update, a new study shows a certain pill can cut the risk of lung cancer by half. Lung cancer is the world's leading cause of cancer death. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later the SEC cracks down on another crypto firm. We're going to have details on how the company is fighting back.
Well, another hot one outside for us today. High temps right around 90 degrees, and we did have scattered thunderstorms again this afternoon into the evening hours, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side of the four-state area. Also hazy out there. We've had all the smoke, the haziness in the sky over the past several days. That is due to all the wildfires that are going on up in Canada. So check this out. This is our future smoke, but you can see the brighter colors. This is where the smoke is the heaviest right now. So as we go through the night, heavier smoke on the Missouri side, and then it kind of rolls back in as we go into tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to have that kind of hazy looking sky out there as we have the next couple days with all those active fires across parts of Canada. All right, temperatures past couple days, they've been up there right around 90 yesterday, right around 90 for us again today. And if we go outside, we're currently sitting at 73 Independence, 77 in Fort Scott, Miami 76. Carthage is checking in at 77. You can see that haze. That's why our visibility is a little low at this time. East-southeasterly winds at about 5 to 10. We're going to drop back lower 60s, back to 80 sunshine as we go through the morning hours tomorrow. And then again, we're going to have those chances for thunderstorms popping back up. Any thunderstorms we had earlier today, these have all dissipated. We look pretty good. We're going to be quiet as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight, but still we got some storms ongoing down through the state of Oklahoma into northern parts of Texas. You got the monsoon out toward the west, and this feature right here just south of Chicago, that's actually a cold front that is going to slip in as we go through about the next 36 hours or so. So let's go through your next 48 hours. As we go through the night tonight, we back down 62, 63 degrees, sunny in the morning, mid-80s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, we'll start to get a few isolated little thunderstorms, not as widespread as what we had today. But watch the cold front. It sinks in as we get into tomorrow night and Thursday morning. This will keep scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night on the Missouri side. And then as we go into Thursday, as the front sinks farther south and west, we'll start to get some pop-up storms working back farther south and west, especially as we get into Thursday afternoon. You can see in Kansas and also parts of Oklahoma. So at least we still have those rain chances sticking around as we go through the next couple days. All right, day planner 65 to start, 86 by noon, 88 by 4 p.m. High temp right around 90 as we get into tomorrow afternoon. All right, let's look down the road. Here's Friday, some isolated storms. We may get a complex of storms that try to drive in by Saturday morning. So we are going to have chances for thunderstorms Saturday, and then again Saturday night as another cold front drops in. So at least we stay decently active as we go through the next few days. All right, 90 tomorrow, 85 Thursday, 86 on Friday, 87 on Saturday. Staying warm, but cooling down a little bit by early next week.
Okay, well, cool down will be welcome by then.
Yeah, it's kind of hot outside.
Yes, it is. Thanks, Doug. One solution for the heat would be the pool, but only one community pool will open in Joplin despite the city owning 3. KOAM's Amber Jenkins now has that report as she speaks with the Parks and Rec Director about summer plans for the community's pools.
Schifferdecker Pool will be the only community pool open this summer in Joplin. However, the pool is only partially open due to a lifeguard shortage. 60 lifeguards are needed to fully open Schifferdecker Pool. Joplin currently has 29 and 34 in training.
When that's all said and done, we'll have probably around 75 lifeguards total, because not all 34 will typically not pass that training.
Training costs about $60. The city of Joplin says recruitment for lifeguards started back in February, paying under $11 an hour. Last month, City Council approved a wage increase, which did increase applicants, but is still not enough.
Can't remember exact date. A few weeks ago is when they approved the new pay plan, which significantly helped us recruit because we now pay $13.65.
The pool director says he understands the community's frustration. He reassures that during open swim, Scheffer-Decker Pool is open and the closed community pools aren't running up a bill.
To operate the pool by a lifeguard standard, it's not by the number of people that come into your swimming pool. It's governed by the amount of water you have and the zones that you have to cover. So right now there is no cost to Ewart because we're not running our pumps, there's no water. Same thing for Cunningham Pool. There's no water in the pool. If there's any cost, it would be, maybe utilities, but that's very minimal.
The city of Joplin wants to remind the community that the city can only work with what they have. Every community isn't the same.
People will compare other communities' pools, and you can't compare apples to apples. One pool, in particular, it only takes them 30 people that staff their pool.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Coming up, a crackdown on the cryptocurrency industry.
U.S. regulators continuing targeting crypto firms for allegedly bypassing securities laws. I'm Kelly O'Grady. I'll have the story coming up.
Federal regulators target one of the nation's leading cryptocurrency exchanges. Fox Business correspondent Kelly O'Grady has that story.
The SEC cracks down on another crypto firm. This time, the agency suing Coinbase, America's largest cryptocurrency exchange platform, accusing it of operating since at least 2019 as an unregistered broker. In its complaint, the SEC alleges Coinbase made billions acting as the middleman for cryptocurrency buyers and sellers. But it deprived its investors of what SEC Chairman Gary Gensler tweeted were, quote, critical protections, including rule books that prevent fraud and manipulation.
This is clear evidence that that time has ran out, as a lot of the activity, or arguably almost all of the activities they're doing, are securities-based activities.
The company, however, is fighting back. In a statement, Coinbase accuses the SEC of not being transparent on how it regulates cryptocurrencies. Coinbase's chief legal officer saying, quote, the solution is legislation that allows fair rules for the road to be developed transparently and applied equally, not litigation. In the meantime, we'll continue to operate our business as usual. Most experts believe regulation could actually help the industry and spur consumer confidence.
What we'll see in the intermediate term here is that all of the trading and custody activity surrounding crypto right now will migrate to ecosystems that are registered and licensed.
On Monday, the SEC also filed a lawsuit against Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, alleging it's also an unregistered broker and allegedly violated securities laws. Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business.
Up next, if you're not a fan of slobber, you might want to watch out for this dog who broke quite the odd record. Okay, check out the tongue on this Lab Shepherd mix from Metairie, Louisiana. Zoe now holds the world's record for the longest tongue on a living dog. Her owners, Sadie and Drew Williams, said people commented on Zoe's tongue so much they took her to the vet to have it measured. It goes 5 inches beyond the snout. So long it goes beyond our graphic there. Turns out it is a tongue record breaker. I guess they keep track of this sort of thing. Her owners also say Zoe is a friendly dog, but if you pet her, she might slobber on you. That's a record you don't want to break. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. And coming up, the Joplin Downtown Alliance bands together to clean up the interior of the Joplin Union Depot. Plus, a local mental health clinic looks to shed light on the difficulties of eating disorders. Thanks for joining us for the second half hour of KOAM News on Fox. The Joplin Union Depot's doors were opened to some residents today to clean up the interior of that historic building. KOAM's Yana Hautala talked with Downtown Joplin Alliance officials and volunteers clearing up the space.
Some area residents got the chance to step inside the historic Joplin Railroad Station as they volunteer with the Downtown Joplin Alliance Clean Team for a cleanup. The Union Depot has been around for more than 100 years, and with that comes a lot of history.
You can't go just to any building and walk in and be standing in the same place as someone was standing 100 years ago. And you know, as so many of these people in Joplin were leaving to go to Kansas City or wherever they left, you know, to go to war, it was out of this train station. And you don't get that with the new building that was built. And this is just, it's too amazing of a structure to let it go.
Volunteer Sean Hull says this is an opportunity to finally see inside the depot while taking care of it.
I've known about it. It's never been in operation during my lifetime, certainly not while I've lived here in Joplin. So, you know, we're hoping that this is a first step in bringing the depot back in some shape or fashion.
He says cleaning up has not been as difficult as he thought.
What you find in there is trash, food wrappers, Coke bottles, other types of bottles, cans, that sort of thing. You can tell people have camped out here and used the building to live in.
Gibson says it is good to have the railroad station cleaned up before the State Historic Preservation Conference is coming in town.
They're going to be making a stop here at the depot as one of the presentations to show off Joplin and its historic preservation efforts.
In Joplin, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
The Clean team meets 2 times a month, first Thursday and third Saturday, to clean up areas they think need cleanups. Gibson recommends residents come out and help clean up spaces in the community with a 1-hour commitment. Ozark Center Hope Spring in Joplin is focusing attention on eating disorders with an upcoming art show. It's called Reflections of Hunger. It showcases lived experiences of local individuals struggling with eating disorders and body image issues. Dr. Jenny Copeland with Ozark Center is giving a preview of what viewers can expect.
And understand from their perspective their individual stories. Each of their stories, each of their illnesses, and their recovery has been very different. And I think it's important for us to hear it in their own words instead of mine.
The art show opens at 5:30 p.m. on June 29th and lasts until July 31st. It is free to everyone. Carthage Public Library today kicked off its summer reading program with a picnic. Officials say the event invites people to explore the area and interact with different departments of law enforcement. Not only was there a picnic, but there were also canine demonstrations for folks to see.
You know, encouraging friendship and togetherness and cooperation. And I could not think of a better way to do that than to invite our community heroes here to the library. So our community can come and look at the fire trucks.
The picnic and canine demonstration was between the library and Central Park. Low-income seniors 60 and over can now get $50 vouchers for fresh produce at farmers markets. The program is sponsored through the Missouri Department of Agriculture. Reporter Joe Hickman has more on what's being offered.
Things were busy at the Senior Age office in Springfield today as the line was long for the start of the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program.
They love this program.
Those age 60 and over who meet certain income guidelines can get $50 in vouchers to get free fruits, vegetables, herbs, and honey from farmers markets throughout Senior Age's 17 county coverage area. And even if you're not a big fruits and veggie guy like Al Crossland,
more meat and taters.
The 80-year-old does understand the importance of eating healthier.
As I get older, I do think more about nutritious food, and that's why I go to the senior centers and eat lunch and take advantage of this. There's food that I probably wouldn't buy otherwise.
We hear that a lot because fruits and vegetables are expensive. So a lot of people on a fixed income, they have to pick between groceries or medicine. And so even though it's just $50, it's $50 and it's homegrown.
The free vouchers are available through the end of September and can be used until the end of October.
This one is Battlefield Mall. This one's over at Farmers Park. Anything listed here, that's where you can shop.
When you sign up, you'll get a list of the farmers markets where the vouchers can be used, and you'll have a list of things to bring when you sign up, including proof of income, because only those who are within 185% of the poverty line qualify.
Just to give you an example, for one person, you can't make over $26,000 a year. Social Security, pensions, it includes all income.
And as to how much difference this can make in someone's life? Well, Susan spoke of a widow who came through the office today.
Her husband recently passed away, so she's still dealing with living on her own. And she did have tears in her eyes when she said, you know, I can't believe I qualify for this. She said, this is such a big help to me right now because when you lose a spouse, there goes half your income. And when you're trying to deal with How do I adjust? Sometimes just that measly little $50 is the biggest thing that could happen to you.
Some things you might need when applying for those vouchers: proof of identity and age, such as driver's license or birth certificate. You must be 60 or older. Proof of residency, such as a utility bill. Also, a proof of income, such as Social Security benefit statement or W-2. Doug is next with another look at the forecast, and a little later, the Oklahoma Sooners softball team looks to claim their third straight national title.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. Partly sunny skies, some afternoon scattered thunderstorms, mainly in our western counties. Not much on the Missouri side, but we did get some scattered thunderstorms out there in Kansas. And that is, I mean, we all need the rain, but that is the area that is in the deepest drought, our counties in Kansas and Oklahoma. So we'll take what we can get. Looks out pretty good out there right now. Temperatures have been warm, near 90 for us yesterday. We dropped back, lower 60s. And then again today, right around 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Nevada is at 74, 72 in Monette. We have Grand Lake 74, 75, and Chautauqua, Iola is checking in at 71. Looking outside, 7th and Rangeline, currently 77. East-southeasterly winds are light. Humidity kind of getting up there just a little bit, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours. Temperatures drop back lower 60s down to about 62 by morning, but a quick rebound back to 80 by 10 a.m. We're going to have plenty of sunshine through the morning. We'll start to see some clouds during the afternoon. All right, any thunderstorms we had earlier, these have dissipated. We've lost the heating of the day. The sun is set, so we don't have the instability out there to really support the storms anymore. So not much, just ground clutter from the radar sites rotating around us. We do still have a few thunderstorms down through parts of Oklahoma, northern parts of Texas, but besides that, not too much going on, just these weak little waves. You got the monsoonal moisture. Of course, you always get the monsoon out across the Rockies throughout the summer months. But notice this, we got a little line here, showers just to the south of Chicago. And this is actually a cold front that is going to back in as we go through the next 36 hours, and that will change our weather up a little bit. We still have rain chances sticking around as we go through the next several days. Tonight, pretty quiet, backing down lower 60s by morning. Sunshine in the morning, warm into the mid-80s by noon. Let's go into the afternoon. We'll stop at 4 p.m. Look at our temperatures. Most of us right around 90. Now you can see a few isolated little thunderstorms trying to pop up, but here comes that cold front. Backs in into the region tomorrow night. So here's 1 o'clock tomorrow night. So some scattered thunderstorms possible in southwestern Missouri as this front kind of drifts back through. By Thursday morning, it's going to be right through the heart of the four-state area. And then as it pushes farther west, by Thursday afternoon, our thunderstorm chances will kind of shift back into Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But at least we got chances across the region. Day planner on your Wednesday, 86 by noon, high temp at 90, 88 by 4 p.m. with those isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon. 85 on Thursday, 86 on Friday. We're going to be hit and miss storms over the weekend. They may be a little bit more hit, which we do need the rain. This weekend's our first potential to get some big complexes of thunderstorms driving through that could give us an inch or two of rain, something that would be well needed and deserved.
Yeah, you get an inch or two, then you get that runoff on top of that. Those farm ponds bounce back considerably.
Yeah, they really do.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Athlete of the Year honors for a pair of Pitt State track and field standouts. Plus, Oklahoma softball punches their ticket to the Women's College World Series Finals. Jacob Leonard has that and more coming up.
Pittsburgh State Track and Field earns a few awards from the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. Gorillas head coach Kyle Rutledge has been named the Central Region Men's Track and Field Coach of the Year after leading PSU to his Division II Outdoor National Championship. Now, a couple of his athletes have earned individual honors. On the women's side, Pitt State's Anna Childress is the Central Region Field Athlete of the Year. She won the Division II Outdoor National Championship in triple jump with a mark of 43 feet, 10.5 inches. is a new Division II record. She also won the triple jump at the MIAA Conference Championships. On the men's side, Pitt State's Cordell Tinch is the Central Region Men's Track and Field Athlete of the Year. At the Outdoor National Championships, posted the best mark in collegiate history in the 110-meter hurdles, 12.87 seconds. Now, he obviously won the national title in that event, but he also won national championships in high jump and long jump. Now, here's Coach Kyle Rutledge on his pair of standouts earning big-time recognition.
It's just great to see that their performance of breaking national records and to perform the way that they did is just outstanding. I'm still in awe how well they performed. I mean, Anna breaking the national record after the girl right before broke the record, and she came back and answered. And then Cordell, you just, I mean, what an amazing feat that young man did to winning the high jump the way he did and winning the hurdles and long jump. It was just an amazing weekend for him and Anna as well.
The Oklahoma Sooners are back in the Women's College World Series Finals. The Sooners beat Stanford 4-2 last night to advance to the championship series. They'll face Florida State in Game 1 of the 3-game series on Wednesday. Oklahoma definitely on a roll right now. They're on a 51-game winning streak. They're actually 59-1 this season and aiming for their 3rd consecutive national championship. The Kansas City Royals dropped Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Miami Marlins last night 9-6. Tonight the Royals send Zach Greinke to the mound for Game 2 with a chance to even the series in Miami. Now, that game is final. Kansas City falls 6-1. The only run they scored was on a wild pitch. The Royals will try to avoid the sweep in the series finale tomorrow night at 5:10. The St. Louis Cardinals on the road for Game 2 of their series with the Rangers. Cards trying to avoid a 5th straight loss tonight. St. Louis down 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nolan Arenado is 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer for the Cardinals. So not a bad week for Pitt State's Anna Childress and Cordell Tinch. 4 national championships between the two of them, and they're both Central Region Athletes of the Year.
That's impressive.
Yes.
And we're going to mention quickly, we are counting down your final days here at KOAM. Your last day is going to be Thursday. We're going to do a retrospective of your career on Thursday.
I would say I'm looking forward to it, but I never look forward to crying on TV, but I think that might happen.
None of us are looking forward to you leaving, that's for sure. We'll be right back. The PGA Tour is merging with the Saudi-backed Live Golf organization and the DP World Tour to create a new powerhouse in the game. Moves already raising questions about how some golfers and fans will react, given Saudi Arabia's human rights record. William LaJeunesse reports from Los Angeles.
A rivalry that split the world of golf and its best players is over. As Live Golf and the PGA Tour merge into a single for-profit company.
Together, we can have a far greater impact on this game than we can working apart.
The deal unites Live, which is financed entirely by the Saudi Government Investment Fund, with the long-standing PGA Tour and the European-based DP World Tour. The rivals now merge the world's best players into a single tour.
We will be investing in the growth of the game of golf.
But the billions of Saudi money may present problems for some players like Rory McIlroy, who refused to join Live because of the kingdom's record of repression against gays, women, and political dissidents.
I don't condone human rights violations at all.
Golf legend Phil Mickelson was among the first stars to join Live, despite calling the Saudis scary mothers. Today's deal also ends litigation between the two groups. Unresolved, however, is how players and fans handle the Saudis' ownership of global professional golf.
Essentially, what Saudi Arabia has done is it has acquired legitimacy.
The Saudi Investment Fund is headed by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who President Biden called responsible for the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Money talks in sport after all, but I think there are people in sport, there are athletes, there are participants, there are fans who really object to this.
For others, it's a day to celebrate.
We would love to make the game of golf very much accessible, just like any other sport.
And to have this capital at this point in time, with the strength of this game, there's so much opportunity.
The two sides signed a memorandum of understanding and expect to finalize this deal in a matter of weeks. In Los Angeles, William LaJeunesse, Fox News.
Hollywood Actors Union SAG-AFTRA has voted to authorize a strike if contract negotiations break down. Contract talks begin tomorrow, with the current contract set to expire at the end of the month. It comes as TV and film writers are now entering the 6th week of their strike. Over the weekend, the industry reached a tentative agreement with the Directors Guild, likely avoiding another strike. Coming up, how a young painter is using her talents to raise money for nonprofits. In Reno, Nevada, a young painting prodigy is using her talents to raise money for nonprofits. But that's not the only art she's mastered. Reporter Taylor Burke has more on this 6-year-old's many talents.
If you were to just listen in, you would never know this violinist has a fraction of the experience of a musician playing in a symphony. But music isn't the only skill Juliet has under her belt.
When I go somewhere, I just take a picture with my mind, and then I can remember it, and then I can come home, and then I can just paint it.
At just 8 months old, Juliet began to paint. Of all her hobbies, she tells me why this one is her favorite.
No one tells me what to do, and I can just paint whatever I want.
An aspiring doctor, Leong wants to help people with cancer find a donor match. Until she gets her PhD, she's selling her paintings and gives the proceeds to nonprofits.
So Juliet is very self-driven in her own goals.
Willa and Jonathan Leong are Juliet's mom and dad. They parent the same way any normal parent would.
You still have to be a parent. You still have to teach manners. You have to teach, all the things necessary to be a person in this world.
At the end of the day, they want what all parents want, for their child to have a life of happiness and satisfaction.
It's not family. It's beyond family. The family is here. That happens every day. But why are you? Who are you? Can you help the community? Can you help the world? So we want her to be a child of the world.
But don't expect this 6-year-old to retire anytime soon. Juliet has big plans for her future.
I want to be a doctor, violinist, artist, pianist, and zookeeper, and there's too many things.
Amazing. In the last year, Juliet has performed for the Oakland A's, Texas Rangers, Reno Aces, and Sacramento Cats. She even took home the honor as the youngest violin soloist at Carnegie Hall. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of corgis racing for charity in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Let's make it a great tomorrow.